All right. With a new season comes new faces. So let's chat all about the rookie class coming into 2023. We had a real treat last year. We had quite the rookie class in 2022. So, who are going to be some rookies to watch in 2023? We talked about a big three in the standings, and I guess this can also be considered a big three for the
Yeah.
draft because we're actually keeping an eye on number one, number two, and number three going in to the regular season. We're talking about Alyssa Thompson with Angel City, Michelle Cooper with Kansas City Current, and Emily Madril with Orlando Pride.
Big three. I like that you're calling them that because they are a big three. But let's start at the top, right? Number one draft pick out of high school. She's still talking about going to her prom, and she's excited about that in the coming months. Forward Alyssa Thompson going to Angel City FC. This kind of goes hand in hand with our talk about the dark horses. Although we had Angel City finishing ninth in the standings, we had them labeled as a dark horse team, as a team that could disrupt some things, ruffle some feathers, maybe break into the playoffs or make a run throughout Challenge Cup. And I think that in adding a player like Alyssa Thompson, we weren't necessarily sure how much we would see her under Freya Koum at Angel City. Now, Angel City is still dealing with some injuries. They're still waiting for some of their star strikers to come back. I'm looking at Kristen Press, Sydney LaRue, and already in preseason for Angel City against some different clubs that they played. I mean, Club America, Alyssa Thompson gets a start, and within the first 5 minutes, she's got a goal and she's found the back of the net. And this is a player that I think can have so much star power around them. Going number one overall, there was a big trade leading up to the draft for Angel City to get that number one pick, and everyone knew it was going to go to Alyssa Thompson, and then it did. And that's a lot of pressure on a young player that is still in high school, that gets to stay at home, live at home in her high school bedroom with her sister and her parents, which I think is beneficial. But I think there's a sense of pressure that Thompson has already felt for most of her career. She's been playing with boys teams. She's been to World Cup. She's got caps on the senior U.S. national team. Thompson knows how to face pressure. She knows how to play with that. And I think she likes the spotlight in the sense that she doesn't shy away from it, and that she can rise to those occasions. And playing in Angel City at Bank of California, that's a very big spotlight. But I think Alyssa Thompson is going to rise to the occasion and perform when the lights are the brightest. And at Angel City, when they're going to need her the most, I'm expecting some big things from Alyssa Thompson, and I think she's going to deliver this year.
No, I'm with you. I think it's an important point that you make, to have such a young player who is not intimidated by that or doesn't want to shy away from that. I think it's going to be crucial for this Angel City team because it's a team that constantly has those lights on them, even when it's not a match day, right? So yes, the lights are brightest when that whistle goes for minute one, but this club has already become this sort of iconic brand in just their 1 year of existence, right? So there's constant eyeballs on this team. What moves are they making? What partnership is coming out next? Where are they at the table? What players are they signing? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's important to note that this player, this very young 18-year-old, or still in high school type of player, is eager to kind of show off what she can do for this team moving forward. So I'm eager to see what Thompson does with Angel City. It was great chatting with both Michelle Cooper and Emily Madril on attacking third, shortly after they were drafted. I think the other really important side of this is we chatted a little bit about this when we were talking in our team previews of just the difficulties and how hard it is for players who are drafted to earn contracts out of preseason, and whether you're selected number one overall or the last pick in the draft, it's just very hard to do that, especially as the league continues to establish itself. I mean, we're entering we're past the decade mark here with NWSL and their existence. And yes, they're still a growing league, but that also means for a lot of the teams on here, there's some established players. There are some starting 11s that are somewhat set in stone already, perhaps, right? So to be this kind of young player, getting into the mix of these preseasons and then doing enough to earn those contracts, I think is pretty massive. And I think we're gonna maybe see somebody like Michelle Cooper get that kind of time or get those opportunities in a year like this because players will be absent for the World Cup. Challenge Cup is running concurrently with this regular season. There's going to be moments during this regular season where coaches are going to want to rely on their depth or utilize perhaps Challenge Cup as an opportunity for players to those depth players to get those more extended minutes in a tournament like that. But I think maybe that's a little different for somebody like Emily Madril. I think when we're looking at somebody like Emily Madril with Orlando Pride, we could see her start match week 1 and continue to build on starts throughout the regular season. Talking about teams and how they wanted to target certain positional areas, Orlando Pride was absolutely a team that needed to add to their defensive depth. And not only did they need to add to that, they needed to find a solution. They
Yeah.
needed to find a solution, and they might have found it with Emily Madril.
I agree. I mean, usually we don't talk about a rookie in the fact that, hey, they're going to start in their center back. They're going to do all these great things, but Orlando is really thin at the defensive position. They've got a number of them listed on their roster. There was 9 initially on that preseason roster, but with Emily Madril, this is a player, mind you, that came out of Florida State University, left early, signed a contract with the NWSL as a league, and then the league sent her on loan to Sweden. So she's already played a professional year in Sweden. She played. She got minutes. She was actually very good for her team over there. And that's going to translate. That gives her a leg up on all the other rookies, frankly, for me and Emily Madril. And this is a player that I think Seb Hines, as a former defender himself and the head coach at Orlando, leans a lot on his defenders. And he asks a lot of them as well. He asks a lot of them, not only defensively, being lockdown 1v1 defenders, aerial presence, contributing organization defensively, a vocal leader, but he also asks a lot of them on with the ball and on the attacking side of things, because he wants his center backs to have a passing completion rate of 100% at the end of games. And he wants them to be able to penetrate passes, connecting with their midfielders, finding their forwards, sending the ball long over top, and having that vision. And that's something that a Emily Madril already has, which lends me to believe that she is going to start in the center back role for Orlando Pride. And she's going to be a big contributor alongside some of the other players, Haley McCutcheon, Megan Montefusco, in that back line, and help this Orlando Pride team get some wins, pick up some points, whether it be draws and just getting shutouts for their team, even if they can't score on the attacking end. Emily Madril is going to be a big part of Orlando's success this year.
Fingers crossed. Any dark horse rookies that you are maybe keeping an eye on? I know we're talking about 1 through 3 in terms of the overall picks, but I want to give you a chance if there's someone else that we haven't had an opportunity to shed some light on, and if you're looking at anyone else outside of 1 through 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a little bit hard for me to pick this player in Jenna Nightswanger because I think she's going to do great things. This is a really talented player, but the fact that she's at Gotham and the fact that Nightswanger is kind of elbowing her way onto a team and has been picked onto a team that's already done a lot of rebuilding and that has a new coach ready to go with this year. I'm just not sure how much time we're going to get from Nightswanger. And that's why she wasn't in my top 3. If she's given the time, I think it could be a great contribution to the team, but I just don't think that there's enough space for her to really make that much of an impact at the start of the year or throughout this year.
Yeah, another one of those players who earned that contract. I think it wasn't just too long ago. We're talking maybe a few weeks at the time of this recording, where they made it official to say, "Hey, we're going to sign this rookie to a contract." I think that's a good one. Especially this was the player that we were sort of waiting to see if they were going to make themselves eligible for the draft, right? And how things were going to shake out there, and then finally goes number 4 to Gotham. So I think that's a good one. I think you can also maybe look at some of Portland's picks, whether it's a Dizzy Aquila or Reina Reyes. So where are those players going to fit on a a defending championship kind of team, and how they are going to look or when they're going to be utilized? Again, looking at those Challenge Cup windows specifically, anytime there's maybe a midweek match, perhaps we can see that. So I'm looking at those two players, and I'm looking at any of the players on Chicago, of course. Looking to see any of them kind of break out and have big years. We saw that club rely pretty heavily on new players, rookie players in 2022, and perhaps we'll see a reiteration of that in 2023, where they'll need to rely on some young players to step up once more.